The big story in banking news is the federal government greenlighting the $13.5 billion takeover of HSBC by RBC, which is Canada's largest bank. Now, critics argue this would reduce competition in an already very concentrated banking sector. To put this into perspective, even though HSBC is this big bank internationally, its presence in Canada is pretty small. It has about 2% of market share. It's been described by an analyst as a minnow compared with the big banks, which are giant whales. There are restrictions on staffing reductions for when this deal closes in the first quarter of 2024, so a lot of the people that HSBC Canada customers have been dealing with will remain next year. Now, important to note, the Competition Bureau also gave this deal the go-ahead. What's harder to measure is the loss of leverage to people who could look up HSBC Canada's competitive mortgage rates and demand something equal or better from their bank or credit union. That's a more significant consumer impact. Ottawa has also promised an open banking framework in the upcoming federal budget, so we'll have to wait for those details. Open banking is consumer-led banking, basically allowing new entrants like fintech companies and challengers to compete with our big established banks, which control about 95% of the market. This could usher in a lot more innovative tools like we've seen in Britain, which leads the world in open banking. Think of, for example, having one app that gives you access to all your bank accounts, or next-level budgeting apps to help you make the most of your hard-earned money. Then we have the items that we might see progress on in 2024 because there wasn't much movement this year. So things like a review of whether banks charge too much for not having enough in your bank account, or NSF fees, or low-cost bank accounts being offered more widely instead of only available to seniors and students. We could even see federal rules to further crack down on predatory lenders. That includes those payday-style loans, companies that charge exorbitant fees and interest to people who can least afford it. We'll have to wait and see which bank-related promises are fulfilled and which ones are left untouched. Gaviola, Global News, Toronto.